Imagine waking up tomorrow, and the world as you know it no longer exists. There was no war, no bomb, but something exploded. Something invisible. Something that was already inside the system, and no one told you. They distracted you with inflation, politics, cheap entertainment. But the real enemy was forming, silently. A monster made of debt, speculation, and unchecked greed. This monster has a name, derivatives. And it carries within it the collapse of the global financial system. The faceless monster. Derivatives are called financial instruments. But what they really are bets. Contracts built on top of other contracts. Debt stacked upon more debt. A web that grows, multiplies, and becomes uncontrollable. And the scariest part? No one really knows how big it is. Estimates vary. But they all have one thing in common. The final number is absurdly bigger than all real money in existence. $1 quadrillion. That's the estimated value. But it's so massive, so surreal, it becomes invisible. And because of that, dangerously ignored. To understand this monster, imagine a global-scale domino game. Each piece is a bank, a hedge fund, a government. Derivatives are the invisible connections between those pieces. When one falls, they all fall. But why was this allowed? Why did no one stop it? The answer is simple. Profit. Easy, fast, and dangerous profit. Derivatives allowed banks to create artificial wealth. To make billions without producing anything. Just by moving digits on screens. Gambling. Playing with the fate of entire nations. And while this happens, you work. You pay taxes. You struggle to survive. Without knowing you're part of the game. That your retirement, your bank, your government. They're all tied to these invisible contracts. The truth? The global financial system is no longer about real money. It's about promises. Promises on top of promises. Debts on top of debts. And when those promises are broken, there will be nowhere to run. The origin of chaos. The system failure. To understand how we got here, we have to go back in time. The 1990s. An era of euphoria, deregulation, and greed. In 1999, the Glass-Steagall Act was repealed. It used to separate commercial banks from investment banks. That wall fell, and hell was unleashed. Banks could now play with people's money. They could turn mortgages into financial assets. They could sell risk. They could bet. Then came 2008. The first crack in the system. The system almost collapsed. But instead of fixing the problem, they doubled down. 2008 was a warning. And no one listened. Do you remember the crisis? People losing homes. Families torn apart. Trillions evaporating. All because of derivatives. The weapon was in plain sight. But the criminals? None went to jail. None lost bonuses. None lost power. They said the banks were too big to fail. The truth? They were too big to be controlled. And since then, they've created even more derivatives. More bets. More risk. The invisible collapse. How this could end. The problem with derivatives is simple. No one understands them. Not even the banks that create them. Not even the governments that allow them. When one link in the chain breaks, a bank, a company, a government, the domino effect is inevitable. One broken contract leads to another and another, until the system locks up. It's not about if it will happen. It's about when. They know. But they don't care. The big banks know this. The governments know. The regulators know. But no one stops the machine. Why? Because as long as it keeps running, they keep profiting. They're protected. You're not. You are the acceptable sacrifice. The disposable piece in the system. And when the collapse comes, you will pay the price. When the silence breaks, they created a monster. Fed it, hid it, denied it. But it's alive. It's growing. And it will break the chains. When it happens, it will be fast, painful, global. Are you ready to watch it all fall apart? Are you prepared to lose everything in the blink of an eye? The collapse will be invisible until it's too late.